Hi, I want to do a quick one because I haven't spoken about this on video for a long time. I have been writing articles about the situation of women and dynamics, so check out my articles down here if you're interested. But today I have been starting to reread one of my favorite books by one of my favorite authors, and that is The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir. And I thought that it was very pertinent and very interesting, so I thought I would give you a little digestible video format explanation of a concept that I'm really into. So far I have spoken about the girl. I have done a bit of an intro, and then I did a bit of an intro to a more spiritual version of girl, which is specifically female energy. So that's not really women, that's female energy, but it's related. And today I want to speak about a concept called the other. This refers to the fact that women and men, the dynamic between us, it's not exactly as we see it, as polar opposites or polar complementaries. It's actually a bit different, and that is because man is actually considered to be masculine and neutral. When we speak of humanity, when we speak of the norm, when we speak of things in general, it's always from the point of view of man in relation to men. You know, all of that is actually man. So man is the neutral, and women is not only the feminine, women is the other, because women, we don't form part of the neutral. When we say that something is female, it's specifically female. It's not like men and women is in the same level of truth or respect or anything. We as women are, and this is another quality, but we are subordinates of men. So I'm just gonna talk about that a little bit. So the other as a subject when referring to women, it was created by, well, the essay that was written, it was written by this guy called E. Levinas, not sure how that's pronounced, and then it was explored further by Simone de Beauvoir, and I really recommend that book. The Second Sex is amazing. So if we understand men and women as a polarity, as opposites or complements or whatever, if we understand them as two equal alternatives, then it would only be logical to understand men as one kind of community and women as another kind of community. When I say community or group, I mean like Black Americans, they all kind of join together. They are a community against everybody else. White people, when a black person comes, you're like, you are yourself white and they are the other. This kind of dynamic exists always amongst communities. So for example, you're in a city, so you are the one, and the person who comes is foreign or is the other. They're the ones who come, and the other always has a certain tinge of suspicion or hostility, or, you know, they are the other, they're not you, so they don't have the same, you don't have the same trust towards them. I can put more examples, like Jews are a community, so it's kind of like there's been events in history where there was this community versus the other community. Men and women are unique in the sense that we are, of course, different, but we don't respond to that dynamic of us and them at all. We are the subordinate of men, but we seem to be okay with it. We naturally accept that repression, and the man sees us as the others, and we know that, but somehow we accept it, and we don't actually want to fight against men. We certainly don't want to exterminate men, because the situation here is very unique. It doesn't happen in any other type of groups of people who are opposites or whatever, is that we need each other. But the fact that we need each other doesn't really respond to the question, why are we the subordinate ones? It doesn't respond to that. Or why is men the one that's neutral? Because men always say, you know, women has hormones and men also has hormones. So we're not really that different. Both men and women, we both have hormones. We both have sexual organs. Our hormones affect us just as much. So it's not like, a lot of the time it's used as an excuse, oh, you are a woman. You know, men, they wouldn't go around the world saying, oh, I do this because I am a man, or I am responding in this way because I am a man. No, they assume that they respond, you know, they are just human. Men are just human. Whereas women, we are specifically women. So it's a very different, subtle difference there. So the thing with all of these communities where there's an oppressor and there's the subordinates, they all at some point in history, there was an event, or, you know, with slavery, with black people, or with the Jews, obviously the Holocaust, or, you know, in every situation, there's usually the oppressed. They want to join forces against the oppressor. Whereas because of the unique situation with women, we don't actually want to become a community. We don't actually want to become a community with these women. We don't really want to be a closed community. And this community that we belong to, women, it's not our priority. So for example, we will feel a lot more connected to men in our social strata or our occupation or the place that we live. We feel more connected to all those people in those other communities, and our community of women is so low in our list of priorities. We would never choose to join forces with a woman who doesn't really belong to our area or our close circle of friends or whatever. We would choose them first, even if they're men. Now, going on a tangent a little bit, I think men actually have a stronger sense of community amongst them than women, because I do notice that men help each other a lot. They have this camaraderie, which I've spoken about before. So it's interesting that even though they have kind of like a larger group of domain, because they encompass both the neutral and the masculine, and we are undoubtedly the repressed in society, it's interesting that they are the ones that actually join forces more, because we are not organized, and it's just not our priority. It's not what we want to do. What else can I tell you? So for example, another practical example, it's always spoken of women as the mystery to men. So even though this mystery thing is accepted by all of us, it's understood that we are a mystery to men, because obviously we're not a mystery to each other. Things like that, they're happening all the time, and if you just look around and go through your experiences, you're gonna start to notice that everything is always from the point of view of the man instead of the point of view of the women, always. And it's even something that we women feel very self-conscious and very uncomfortable about, and we will try to show a lot of respect towards men and to try not to offend them. And then there's this kind of fake respect that happens when a man is being a gentleman. But when a man is being a gentleman, it is seen as them doing us a favor. It's not seen as we are equals, so you have this respect. It's always seen as they are helping us. Because if they didn't want to help us, they would not. Because they are the masters in this society. We all know that. I'm just exposing it, being explicit about it. For example, when you say helping in the kitchen or helping with the cleaning, even though we have completely, gotten away from that cliche of the woman cleans and cooks, it's not actually so clear, because it's still, all of my boyfriends, for example, or in my experience, it's always you, the women, I need to respond, are the one that's expected to do that stuff. And if you need help from the man, even though it's not help, it's like they should be doing it too. Hola? Hola? I don't know. This is starting to be like one of those Vogue 93 questions video. So even though it's not really helping to do the stuff that you're supposed to do for yourself, or like wash your own laundry, we still say it. And we say it with such a submission, really. It's still happening so strongly. I do it all the time, and women do it all the time, and we respect men's time more. When a man is like working or just anything, men are really good at turning anything into work, whereas women are really good at acting as if our stuff doesn't really matter and isn't really necessary. We are seen as the unnecessary in general, ourselves and everything that we do. So this is one thing that I found really interesting, and I will put this into writing, and I'll also do a podcast, but I just wanted to do a quick video about it. And there's another thing that she talks about, women as seen, and this is kind of tied up to a lot of ideas of our appearance and how we present ourselves. I now think that we present ourselves as sexual, so we equate femininity and being female with sexuality and being sexual, because to men, from the point of view of men, we are sex. That's the main thing that we are. They don't really need us for anything else than affection and sex, because they can do everything by themselves. Now, we can do everything by ourselves also, but somehow we don't feel that way. We don't feel like we are enough to respond. I'm receiving packages. Everywhere I go, I get packages. Because I have to order everything, because I don't have a car, so I can't bring heavy stuff anywhere. That is the main excuse for my package addiction. So yeah, we're pretty much done on here. I just wanted to tell you that I think I have gone through everything that I needed to. I still haven't really decided why women are the subordinates. I want to say that we are literally physically weaker, and we're also not interested in a lot of stuff that men are, like hunting. So we kind of needed those things and still need that protection, and somehow that protection, offering the protection and being the protected, that somehow situates us in the point of the subordinate. So I'm leaning towards that, but I need to study this matter further, so I will let you know and keep you informed. Bye.